So I'm about to show you a set of wheels that we filmed 2 or 3 weeks ago now, but I couldn't show it to you guys at the time because of that media embargo nonsense. Anyway, they've been released at the Taipei bike show. I don't think anyone's had a really detailed look at them in the way that we got to. The guys from Vision were fantastic. They really wanted to get in and show us all the fine details. And I'm interested in it, not because it's a fancy set of wheels. There's some actually really nice details in this wheel set, which I personally just found really interesting and just wanted to share with you. This isn't like a big media push or anything. It got me thinking though about the massive landscape of road bike wheels right now, because it is utterly insane. We have things from 829 grams up to 1600 grams. You've got 300 pounds on AliExpress, right up to 4,000 pounds from things like Envy and Princeton and Scope. How the hell do you even start, trying to make a decision on that? And I was reflecting on a lot of the conversations that we have here in the shop, and I think there's like several tiers when it comes to trying to make your way through that insane amount of choice. I think the first one we look at is always weight and price. It is the easiest thing for any of us to understand. It's two very clear, distinct stats that we can easily look up and draw a comparison between wheel A and wheel B. And in fact, how many of you have gone on to Merlin cycles or Sigma cycles and just sorted by price, sorted by wheel depth, and then picked the lightest one from a reputable brand? Which gets me on to like level 2 thinking, which is it a brand that you trust? And if you see that deal and it's from a brand that you recognize, you go, brilliant, happy days, job done. If it's not from a brand you recognize, you might go and do a little bit more research, like level 3 thinking. And that's when you start looking at, what's the brand's reputation? What are their reviews like? Can you buy spare parts? Is there some sort of warranty on it? And I think the level 4 thinking, which I think is the wrong way around, is what is the actual performance benefit to me? And this is the one that is so intangible and the thing that reviewers can never really quite agree on either, because is it too stiff, or is it comfortable, or is it compliant, and does it hold its speed and momentum? And I'm guilty of that as well. But one of the things I always try and drill down to is one simple stat. And that is, do they make me feel confident? Because I always think that if a wheel set improves your confidence, you will naturally go faster and you will naturally be more comfortable. You won't be so tense on the bike trying to control something twitchy. You'll just relax more and you'll just steer and accelerate and just be a whole lot smoother with all your actions. And at the same time, if you're hammering away at like top speed down a hill or on the flats and you just feel like going over a bumpy set of roads, then your wheel set has got you. If you feel like a big crosswind comes and hits you from the side of a gate or something, and you've got that nice predictable little push rather than a twitchy grab at the aerodynamics, then that to me is what I always look for. Does a wheel set just make me feel really confident on a bike? God knows how you measure that. Anyway, back to this video. I'm going to show it to you now and then we'll come back and talk through some of those details.
We have a bit of an exclusive here. We can't talk about this until the 25th of March. I want to show you these Vision wheels. Like, a lot of Western brands have really been getting the act together with carbon spokes, but learning from all the mistakes that we've been seeing from all these Chinese brands. So they're now bringing it out with all those problems starting to be fixed. So these are the new Vision RS, can't remember what the names are now, but they're saying that the 45mm deep, this is the 65, is coming in at just under 1300 grams, so 1,290 something grams for a 45mm deep and 23mm internal rim and hooked. Now, they've been doing some other cool bits with their tech here. The first thing, they were very aware of the whole spoke detensioning problem. So on their rim profile here, you can see how deep this rim bread is here. But if I just turn this around, what they've done is around where the drilling is, they haven't just drilled it, they've actually built up the surface so that the actual nipple head has a little concave section to rest in. So you get a really good seat-in with that nipple. The spokes themselves look like a Stren spoke. They've got that little T-head shape to them, but unlike some of the ones that we've seen, these are very glossy finish. There's no loose strands here. It all feels very together. You can see it's not been resin starved like we're used to seeing, but also they're a little bit narrower here, and they say that's better for the aerodynamics, but they've built up the thickness. I kind of agree with that, because this spoke feels a whole lot more sort of rigid and together, a bit more robust than what we're used to seeing. Now, when it comes to their hub, we've got a lovely cutaway here, and they've been really working on their ring drive system. This is something between that system we've seen from Elite and DT Swiss, but cross between what we see from Chris King. So the ratchet actually is sprung right up against this bearing here, it's a coil spring in here, and the ratchet comes away from the rigid section held in with a circlip just here. They've done all that weight saving things like really CNC machining away the hub, even into the free hub as well to get the weight down. This does not feel heavy. It's nowhere near as extreme as what we've seen from Scope and those AirTechs, but it's getting very close. Comes with CeramicSpeed bearings, of course. What's really impressive is that they haven't skimped on these ring drives. The ring drive is still something like a 72 tooth on a 5-degree angle. Look at that seal, actually a proper proprietary seal. So you might actually get some sort of weatherproofing on out of it as well, which is unheard of in lightweight wheels. They normally just ditch all of this to save every gram possible. Here we go. Looks like the Western brands have learned from all the mistakes that we've seen and now bringing out some real quality products here. But they do come at a price, £2,999. Still a little bit painful on the wallet maybe, but will give you an awful lot more confidence, I think. Spoke tension's 150 kilograms of force. I'm down with that. Good work, Vision.
There we go. What do you think? There's some nice little details in there, right? I especially like the fact that they had built up the little seating for the spoke nipple. I thought that was brilliant, because normally how those are made is that a drill comes in, and you might have seen things advertised like 4D drilling, because you need to drill at an angle that follows the line of the spoke so the spoke doesn't get put under tension as it exits the nipple. That's great, but that means that most brands are removing material in that situation, i.e. making it ever so slightly lighter, but also taking away some of that material strength as well. So what Vision have done is gone the harder route by trying to build that up, which means it's harder to manufacture because you can't just make it flat and then drill. You've got to actually mold it and make it like that from the start. I also like what they've done with their spoke configuration and having to think about the number of the spokes. They haven't just done that to save weight by removing 5 or 6 spokes or whatever. They've done that to try and balance the spoke tension, because you know we have our wheels now are not triangles. You got a steep side and a less steep side. If you need to try and keep that spoke tension in balance, you need to reduce the amount of spokes on one side so that the actual spoke tension left and right is maintained. So that's much more about trying to maintain equal spoke tension as much as it is by removing, I don't know, 5 spokes worth of weight or something. So that was dead interesting. Also, just going into the hub and just seeing the hub refinements. I mean, it's such a simple, basic mechanism, but it's just nice that we are gradually just making it a little bit smoother, a little bit nicer. The fact that they're using CeramicSpeed bearings was like, I'm not that bothered. I don't think you notice any great performance gain there over any other nice bearings with a good lubricant in. But it's nice to see it included in something that is expensive. At least I think that's why they've done it. It almost helps justify the price, slapping on a brand name bearings that you will recognize, marketing hype aside. They are good bearings, but they definitely need more maintenance than you think they do. You really got to have those seals off and replacing that grease and flushing them out. Like any sort of high performance bit on anything, you know, cars, whatever, you've got to maintain those high performance parts. So that was all nice. The little ring drive thing, it's great. I think that's just seeing our general CNC manufacturing just improve, that we can make those very fine cuts and repetitively on a mass-produced basis and make them work. So the grease that they're using in there, they supply you with a little pot of grease when you get it. It's called free hub grease. It actually just looks like SRAM butter, slick oleum, slick honey, whatever you call it in your country. We just can't get anything apart from SRAM butter here in the UK. I'll dive into that, but I'm fairly certain that's what it is, and it would work pretty well anyway. So there we go, some nice little details in there. And I think for me, I would love to see some of that tech trickle down. From one side, we have seen the beta testing happening from the brands that are out there at the moment, and now I think we're starting to see a much more mature market in carbon wheels, and we're starting to cover off some of the complaints of the first and probably even second generation with, you know, they were too stiff, they were too uncomfortable, the spokes are coming loose. All those sort of problems seem to be getting sorted, and I'm all in favour of that. Anyway, I hope you found this somewhat interesting. I found it interesting because I'm a bike geek and I love new tech like this. So if you do, subscribe to the channel and I'll see you on the next one. Oh, still looking out for a video editor, by the way. If anyone out there is a video editor and loves cycling, please get in touch. I'd love to hear from you. Cheers.